Hello, everybody. It's 77th once again, coming back to talk to you guys about a, uh, a topic that I've been seeing on social media a lot. And it's about the subtle shift in the collective as far as men and women, about how women are more, or how women are slowly becoming more career driven, you know, goal driven, goal oriented, things like that. And men are kind of, I guess, well, to those types of women, the issue is that men aren't being, you know, assertive enough, you know, goal oriented enough, things of that nature, like the women are. And I'm here to tell you why. Um, it revolves around this. I've touched on this before. Forgive my writing. The answer is there. Um, let's do this. Like I said, the enema is all psychological tendencies in man, and the animus is the psychological tendencies of a man and woman, or in women. Let me put my symbols here. None of it looks bad, I know, but sue me. Since just need to get over that. Okay, so don't be confused by this. Like I said, the anima resides in a man, and it has feminine energy. The animus is inside of women, and it has male or masculine energy. So it's probably going to be confusing. Well, I know it's going to be confusing because it was for me. Um, but yeah, let's get into this. Um, let's do an example. I'll take a female ISTJ. Okay. All right. Is that black? Oh. And what's the stack for the ISTJ? And this is a female. So, and I'm thinking I need to start doing outlines or whatever. I'll get into it, maybe, at some point. And we'll do, hmm, I will say, let's do an ENFP. Yeah, we'll do that. ENFP, that is a man. Hopefully, this video will be under 30 minutes, so you guys will actually watch the whole thing. So, okay, let's go into the function stack and the shadow. Excuse me, my throat is not acting properly with me. Let's do that. And this is actually a topic I've been wanting to tackle for a while, in a way. But like I said, I've been seeing videos on social media, a lot about this topic. So just kind of wanted to put my 2 cents, so to speak. And here we are, shadow. And this is the shadow of the ISTJ, by the way. And I. You MBTI nerds out there, I'd like to see if you guys can kind of guess where I'm trying to go with this. And I do have a new kind of mic, not necessarily a mic, but new audio that I'm testing out. So, I mean, if anybody hearing this can let me know, I mean, if it's working out compared to what I had in the past. Well, actually, I heard a video. I was looking at some videos that I made, and I could tell that the audio was horrible. So I didn't know it was that bad. But yeah, yeah, I didn't know it was that bad. Okay, so we have an ISTJ female, ENFP male. Okay, so understand that the average human is not aware of this, not in the least. I'll do this. Zero clue of what any of this is because this runs the world. SI and SE runs the world. So anything that a sensor cannot see or hear or touch, anything related to the senses. You get the point. So anything outside of this, a sensor is not going to believe it's true. Yeah, I'm missing one, but I can't think of it right now. But you get the point. Um, Outside of this, a sensor will not believe it, especially if this, if this is their dominant, or this is their dominant, or second. So the higher this is in a person's stat, they are not. Like outside of this, zero clue, which relates to eyes. Things raining outside. As of the unseen. So, and what are eyes of the unseen? This guy. hashtag. But this is a topic for another video. We're talking about this right now. So the anime and the animus. It is very vital and critical in today's society with humans to integrate with your shadow. Because if not, all it will do is project. One second. It will project itself on the other person. Yes, it will project itself on the other person. What do I mean by that? Okay, so this is a female, and this is the animus here. And those of you that have watched my other videos, you know I like to color code. So I like to do the shadow in red. And like I said, it has masculine energy. And the anima has feminine energy. Whether you ladies like it or not, this is how it goes. So, yeah. So let's take a relationship, shall we? I'm not gonna go into the deep stuff. This is more of a kind of a practical, view of this, more like an everyday, where the everyday person can grasp it. Kind of putting it in those terms. So, yeah. So let's take this. I've kind of touched on this before, but yeah, this is society as a whole, pretty much. So if you have an ISTJ female, I know because my mother is an ISTJ. So you take this, right? And the shadow of an ISTJ female is the ESTP. And I'll put ESTP here. The shadow of the ENFP male is the INFJ, my favorite for obvious reasons. Okay. All right. So now these are two completely different people. Two completely different people. Completely different people. And we're going to get into that. So, okay. So we take the animus of an ISTJ female, right? What's the first function? SETIFENI. Now, what do I mean? What I mean is this woman is good up here. SITEFINE, right? But what she is going to want is a partner that is this. She's going to her partner. She's going to want a partner that is this, and vice versa. The ENFP male will be seeking out this function stack from whatever female that they're pursuing or that they would like to. Um, okay, but in more the everyday sense of the, well, breaking down this the animus in its masculinity, because I watched a kind of a video about, a woman talking to or talking about, in society how, you know, women are becoming more, um, you know, career driven, things like that. And it resides here. So we're going to take the ISTJ female and look at this. Animus SE, meaning SE is the, when it comes to the external world, the master of the external world, the master of the external world. So it it will, it takes its external environment and pretty much it is the king of the external environment. It sees everything. It will notice every little detail in the external environment, everything. Take, for example, a professional athlete. Professional athletes, what is their job? To take what they see in the external world and analyze it and come up with a solution as far as what they analyze to take advantage of their opponent, right? Like basketball, football. Let's say for basketball. When you make a move in basketball, a basketball move in basketball, you may have not even a second before the defender reacts to your move if you have the ball, or if you're the defender, same thing. SC is the instantaneous split second that you take in the information and perform a counter move to that. So say you basketball nerds out there. So say if somebody does a crossover, the defender cuts you off and anticipates your spot. SC, where SC and TI comes into play, is that split second to where you see that they've cut you off. And in that split second, what are you going to do to counter it? So that's where SC and TI comes into play. In that instantaneous split second, SC notices that the defender cut you off. So so you have to quickly, instantaneously counter that. So that's more what TI is. SCTI is. The analyzation is the TI. SC is the actual performing of that counter move based off of what TI has analyzed. So, but in more of a practical sense with a man and a woman, basically everything she can't get. So say she's so with SI, 9 to 5, she's at work. So while she's at work, there are things that go on outside of work, whether it be a kid at school in whatever grade, third, fourth grade, or whatever, things going on at the house, you know, um, relatives, just outside things. So basically, this female is going to want a man that is an ESTP, because ESTPs are this by default. So, so I'll say, for example, um, pretty much like while the woman is at work, she's going to expect the ESTP animus to take care of everything else while she's at work. So, say for example, there's a there's a problem with a roof at the house, or there's a the grass needs to be cut, or something like that, or a fence needs to be repaired, something like that. The woman is going to expect the man in her life to take care of these things with this. And how it works, if she's with, for example, if she's with an ENFP male, she is going to project these things onto him. She's going to project these things, these functions onto the male. I've talked about this before. So basically, all of the weaknesses cognitively of this woman, she's going to want her man to be them. Because, I mean, this is her unconscious. Like I said, the animus is basically the, for example, like I said, I've said this before. If you're on a date, or if you're in single or whatever, what have you, or if you were married, or if you are in a relationship, it doesn't matter. You know, your projection your animus or anima does not stop ever. It does not stop. It does not stop. You will project, project, project your shadow onto the other person if you are not spiritually awakened. Well, I'm not going to say that. I mean, it's just period. You're going to project, period. You're going to project, for this woman, she's going to project SE, TI, FE, and NI on this man. Now, in turn, this male is going to do the same thing. He's going to want somebody more, deep. NI is deep. So, an INFJ male I'll tell you like this. I mean, I am an INFJ male, because I'll tell you, NI is not concerned with anything below. Okay, when a rocket ship is going into the sky and where the blue sky turns into space, NI is not really concerned about anything below that line. It's not. It's just not. NI is only concerned with space, beyond black holes, beyond the galaxy, solar system, beyond that. However far your imagination can take you, beyond all that. That is the essence of NI. That is the essence of NI. So, yeah, a male is going to project this onto the female, which 9 times out of 10, the INFJ is going to know that the female, whether she's this or not, he's going to know, or she's going to know, for that matter. Yeah, so what ends up happening is, so famous ESTPs, to give you an example of what this woman's going to want, power. Like power, being driven, goal oriented, basically somebody that, you know, for lack of a better term, this is 2025, has their shit together, like times 10. That is what this guy pretty much is, or what this woman is going to want. Basically, all of their functions, whatever they are, they're going to project. Whatever they are, they're going to project on the other person. You get what I'm saying? So, as you can see, where the issues happen in relationships is when the female or male projects onto the other person and they're not getting what they want in return. That's where the issue comes in, which leads to things like this. Like I've said before, Yes. Yep. Which leads to this. Yes. Divorce, breakups, cheating, arguments, you name it, in a relationship. Doesn't have to be necessarily in a relationship as far as marriage. It could be family, friends, anything. So just taking an example of friends. If you're around 10, or if you have 10 sensors, and you're the only ENFP, you're going to project this. But if there's 10 sensors you're with, they're all going to project this, this, and this. And if it's all 10 of them, they're going to be talking back and forth about SI, SE stuff, basically anything below a skyscraper on average. That's this kind of subject matter sensors prefer to talk about. Anything below the clouds, anything below that. Do I have to repeat it? But I am anyway. Anything below the clouds is the only thing that concerns a sensor. 99% of the time. They're not going to talk about anything else. So, and if it's one of you or an ENFP, I mean, what are you going to do? This is where FE slavery comes in. This is where FE slavery comes in. And I've talked about this in another video. Or have I? So what the ENFP is going to be forced to do is do this. Well, I don't have anyone that wants to talk about NI with me. So for the sake of this and getting on with other people, because of fear of abandonment, I'm going to flush this down the toilet and be a slave to this and this. So, or you could say any other functions that a person is. It doesn't have to necessarily be FE and SE. It doesn't necessarily have to be that. It could be a person that has TI dominant, and somebody is a FE dominant. They're going to want something more close to them. And the problem is in relationships, people get caught up in this guy. So they say, well, for the sake of consistency, SI, we can work it out. People stay in relationships and battle this stuff year after year after year after year with no resolution for the most part. And dang it, I'm going to go over 30 minutes. I didn't want to. So, but pretty much, yeah, working it out. Like I said, this is 75% of relationships, or well, a lot of them.